sinking of the Titanic started life as a sort of response to what kind of piece of music would a conceptual piece of music be if actual information can be transformed into poetry. The band were playing, if you like, on the ocean surface, and they continued to play until the moment, well, in fact, we don't know when they stopped, because they were certainly playing as the ship went down. And that, of course, is a very striking image. So one of the things which I started out with was a sort of rather scientific question about, well, what happens to music when it's played underwater? The musicians continue to play as they went underwater. But that, of course, is clearly metaphoric, because you simply can't produce the music under the water, and the musicians died. There are certain universals, I think, contained within the disaster, which is to do with human behavior. It's to do with the power of music. Is to do with the way in which people choose to come to terms with their own mortality, but which in a way is incredibly, beautifully and poignantly exemplified on the ship. And the most poignant one for me, of course, is the way in which the musicians behaved. In the case of the sinking of the Titanic, the piece doesn't exist as a kind of formal score, like an orchestra piece or a piece of chamber music. It exists as a kind of body of written research notes, out of which I can extract material for any given performance. So in a way, the piece is about the research and the kind of ideas that come out of that research.
No, I sailed right over the spot where these boats were, and there was probably very little difference in the sea between 1912 and 1993. There it is. It's vast and it's lonely and it's dark.
It's emotional, but it's sort of hard to pin down what emotion he's evoking, and I think that's one of the things that's so appealing about his music, and one of the reasons why it can appeal to so many people who don't consider themselves classical music fans, don't consider themselves fans of avant-garde or experimental music. I mean, he's got a large contingent of followers among rock listeners. There's definitely something that grabs at you in a piece like The Sinking of the Titanic, whether it's hearing just barely these ancient voices and not quite knowing where they're coming from and where they're going, what even they're saying. I mean, those sounds just, they resonate and they have an appeal, and it's a strong appeal, even if it's hard for you to pin down exactly what it is that it's tugging at.
Wallace Hartley, the leader, and he played the violin. And there was Theodore Brayley, who played piano, Roger Rico played cello, and Fred Clark played the bass. John Hume, he was known as Jock, he played violin. And George Crins was violist. Percy Taylor played piano, and Jack Woodward played the cello. There were only two bodies